In this DIY, I'm going to show you how to make a balance board. It's a great way for your children or for you to improve your balance and coordination. Not to mention a fun pastime, hopefully away from the TV or that tablet. After you've watched this DIY, obviously. The skill level rating for this DIY is definitely easy. Here's what I'm using. A scrap piece of 32 by 94, 600mm long piece of timber. This was an offcut from a previous DIY and I'm going to use it to make the rockers. 90mm laminated panel cut to 380 by 560 long. You can vary the sizes here to suit your requirements. 50mm wood screws, a screw pilot, wood glue, a tape measure, a click clamp, pencil, a jigsaw, a cordless drill, a sander, and some wood sealer. This is what to do. First of all, mark out two curves with a radius of approximately 160, which is 320 mils in diameter. I'm using the base of a bucket lid to make the curve. Now cut the curve using a jigsaw. Take care to move the jigsaw slowly to avoid any high or flat spots. It is important that both the rockers are identical. I thus screwed the two pieces together and sanded them down as a pair. This is just a temporary fix. A bench belt sander does make a DIY much easier. I made use of this just so I can get it even. It's square all the way through. You can also get it with a hand sander, but it's a little bit more effort and a little bit more concentration. Once done and separated, position the two curved rockers on the underside of the board, running across the grain. I marked the rockers in the center points and offset them from the side by 32mm. I didn't use a tape measure for this, I just used one of the other rockers as a spacer. Mark the two drill holes for the screws to attach the rockers to the board. Use a screw pilot on the top surface to countersink the screw below the surface of the timber. Remember to apply wood glue to the mating surfaces and clamp into position and screw to fasten. The structure is now complete and it's now time to fill these holes. You can use wood filler or you can use a plug cutter. I'm using a plug cutter to cut my own plugs and I'm making use of a jig which I made in a previous DIY. This way I don't need to use a drill press in order to make these plugs. Now a trick with this is to make use of one of the existing holes and use that as my glue pot. Pick a dowel peg and try and match up with a similar sort of grain and then dip it in and then plug the hole. You must make sure you get the right grain direction. Give it a tap and carry on for all four. My pegs are all in. I'm going to sand this whole unit down and hopefully I won't even be able to see these countersunk holes. Sand all the edges, remove any sharp burrs, flip it over on the side, round off these edges slightly, and then all that's left to do is to seal it and decorate it to your styling. I used some Rust-Oleum spray paint and clear wood sealer. I first sealed the board with wood sealer to prevent any moisture from damaging the timber. I then played around with some spray paint for that final effect. This is where your creative license can go wild. Now it's time to put it into action and improve your skills and hopefully keeping your kids away from the TV or that tablet. Remember, there are detailed clips of the tools I've used on our product pages of our website. If you enjoyed this DIY, we'd love to hear from you and see your feedback. Like it, share it with your friends and family, And you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel where there are numerous clips and DIYs to keep you busy and entertained.